Good morning. This is President Ann Diener. Donald Trump is legally and lawfully deposed since August 8th of 2017, and Donald Trump stole election 2016 using cross-check, micro-targeting, and Diebold, as well as invited the Russian oligarchs in to bankrupt us, but we've kept our gold standard and our money back to deliver to the American people. And we do need a lot more than $1,200 to be delivered to the American people. So that has to go through Congress. We have as much as 60 to 80,000 that can be delivered in our tax money back to the American voter. But what I've been proposing, and I identified that Chase Bank has been financially struggling, and we've been working on our war crimes tribunal behind the scenes, and I became president of the United States due to the deposal of Donald Trump, also to prosecute the American war criminals. And so we've been getting down to the bottom of it. It was found out, and I think TV media viewers would be very interested in finding out how war crimes are conducted. It was found out that Dick Cheney actually, he basically ordered the snipers. He ordered the killing of the kids at Maidan in Ukraine, and it was interesting. Victoria Nuland, I found out that she cried for days after that, and she actually had to hire the snipers to kill the kids, the far-right snipers. And I put that evidence and data out there. Basically, I put stuff out that's true and that I find out because I want the American public to actually wake up and find out what goes on behind the scenes so that we can actually get the War Crimes Tribunal prosecuted, and we can publicly see them being asked questions, see Dick Cheney being asked questions about even September 11th, where he was afraid of a hostile enemy that we've been working on in the background. So it's been really challenging to get the War Crimes Tribunal completed, and to have questions ready, and this needs to be formally prosecuted. From my understanding, Camp Pendleton turned away war crimes prosecutors that were specialists. They need to be allowed to enter. This individual with his alien agenda here, Gordon Duff, on the poster, Bush's alien bardo, his alien agenda bardo, is almost over. And what they've been doing, and this is advanced technology, they installed all the Nixon hardware, is they put them all in a pod, a space pod. And these were actual DNA samples from these extraterrestrials. And a lot of them were white alien agenda, and they use it for cloning and making drones and stuff. But they put them in the pods after they died so that they could still communicate through the supercomputers. And see, that's the way you and I used to die. We always used to, our lives were actually created by the supercomputer. And like they put in who you were going to marry, and even one of the Supreme Court justices, the former now dead overlord, actually programmed his life so that the Supreme Court justice could help him with his real estate investments and not be an honest Supreme Court justice, which hopefully he changes that aspect that was created by the former overlord who is now dead. And all of this stuff is really important to people because now, as of this morning, we're going to be actually really living our lives. It was found out dogs currently, they don't go through the supercomputer system. They die naturally. And everyone on our planet will die naturally, which is really, really nice. And the false Bush bardo that was in North Korea that shut down and that is empty now is completely, hopefully, over. And once the Space Corps is finished, these alien souls, there are a lot of white alien agenda that people had been allowing to resuscitate. They're moving on to God's core and dying naturally. And if you think about it, it was a big transition for them, and there was some fear. And now a lot of them are actually happy to go there, and they don't want to be bothered by the insiders. So that was also identified today, that insiders were trying to basically wake up their souls again, and they're ready to go to God's core. So that's an update on our negative install, and we do need to keep pushing forward on the War Crimes Tribunal. and to really ask questions about how these war crimes were conducted. And we do know that the coup in Ukraine is really important to look at, and the whole, how that happened. And from the beginning to the end, when they moved in with big business, through Friends of Ukraine, then through Chevron and through the oil and gas companies, and then also then Dick Cheney ordering the killing of the students. So this is President Ann Diener. Also today I've sent over data too on the nuclear threats in the buildings. Those need to be investigated. It was said by Bush the other day, oh, then I can't use those buildings. These components were installed by Robert Mercer, from my understanding, and his team, and they need to be indicted for the using of the nuclear components in the buildings. It is not legal to install nuclear components in buildings to destroy them. And if there are other buildings out there where those are installed in, we need to identify those buildings and deconstruct the nuclear material. So this is President Ann Diener. Constitutionalism is always guaranteed. My concessions are kept and upheld. And have a good day on this Seeing at Home. I've basically self-funded my presidency and our War Crimes Tribunal, and I am waiting for a check. So I'm anxious to meet with someone from the Defense Intelligence Agency or from the Department of Defense, and so that we can move on to actually airing what will be probably the most intriguing War Crimes Tribunal for the American audience. They will want to sit there and listen and understand how a Maidan shooting can occur, and how and who benefited. They will want those individuals like Dick Cheney to answer some questions. Have a great day.